So I keep it real simple. Like I keep my ego in check. I'm humble. I mean, I flex every once in a while, but it's more. Anytime I do something like that, it's more inspirational. It's like, you can win the Emmy. Yeah, you can get these plaques, man. Get out here and do some work.
Yeah.
Don't just think that you're entitled just because you do music or you have a good. Your music is good, and now you're just entitled. You just think no. You got to get out here and put some work in.
Pink, red. So pink, red. Pink, red. Pink, red. Pink.
Yep.
What's up, man?
What's up with it, man?
Hey, man. Long
How
time.
you doing, bro?
Long time.
Yeah. Good to see you, dog.
Always. Family, welcome back to another episode of the Non-Conversations, where we say now over never instead of now or never, because now or never gives you too many options. We're here with family. We're here with family.
Word.
Yeah, this is Jaz Brewer.
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
Or Jaz, affectionately known as Jaz, to all that know and love him, man. Studio, everything extraordinary. I don't even want to just say engineer, man. This guy does everything in the studio. Anything that you need, he could do it. But more than that, this has been a friend of mine, man. We learned about each other some almost 14 years ago, man.
Mm-hmm.
Long time ago. Roaming the campuses of CMSU, it was called at the time. Got introduced to Jaz. People knew that I was interested in, or was at the time was heavy into my recording and all of that, my artistry. And it was like, yeah, you need to connect with my guy. You know, he's up on the, what was it, third floor COTL, man.
South Yater, yeah.
South Yater, man. And yeah, it's been cool ever since, man. So I think we initially connected and linked on some music, but it just turned into like a mutual respect of each other's craft and all of that kind of good stuff, man. And he's still doing his thing to this day. And so we're gonna get into all of that, but welcome to the Non-Conversations, man.
Yep. How's it going, man?
I'm straight, man. I'm blessed, happy to be here.
Yeah.
It's always like a second home to come to Kansas City. A lot of people here, a lot of family, a lot of friends I've made over the past 14 years, I should say. But let's get into this, man. I want you to tell the people who you are, what you do. If y'all see, we got some respect.
Some hardware.
Go ahead and bring that out. We got some respect.
Yeah, Emmy Award winner.
Yeah, get that.
You know what I'm saying? A Century of Change documentary aired on PBS.
Yeah.
Documentary about Negro Leagues baseball.
Yeah.
And it was just the 100-year celebration of the Negro Leagues, and they ended up incorporating the Negro League stats into the Major League Baseball stats this past year.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So yeah,
that's big. That's big time.
But so my name is Jaz Brewer, owner of 64111 Studios. I am the longest running Black-owned studio in Kansas City.
I got the feeling I'm feeling extraordinary. Standing next to rappers and everyone looking ordinary. You have your own sound, I'm sure, but it's sort of buried right below the surface. It's closer to the mantle. It's right below the sound that everybody gon' sample. Be careful when you follow the crowd, you don't get trampled. Put trust in your label until your sound is mishandled. Now everybody's sounding the same, the game in shambles.
Yeah. As you just seen, Emmy Award winner, Billboard chart. We're currently Billboard right now. We're number 20 on Billboard.
Okay.
One of my guys, his name is Lavelle. We'll get more into that later.
Yeah.
And I'm also a professor at UCM, so I teach music business practices, and I also teach digital audio production.
Okay.
So we just been working, man.
Yeah.
Over 20 plus years here in this building.
Yeah. Doing your thing. And I said 14 years, but he just corrected me. It's been 24 years. 24 years, not 14 years, 24 years. So time is flying, basically.
Yeah,
but man, I wanted to sit down with you. So the purpose of the Non-Conversations, man, we try to sit down with people who are living things out, man. You know, you had a vision at some point that you wanted to take a path, you wanted to take a road, and you wanted to follow it. And true to you, you stayed on it. It's bearing fruit for you. And it's something that you love to do, right?
Yeah.
Which many people in this world can't say that,
Yeah.
right? They are living the life that they want to live, and they're enjoying it.
Yeah.
So let's start there, man. You know, we talked about studio engineering and all of that, but just where did your love of sound and music and all of that, when did that start for you?
I've always been into sound and music. Me and my brother Jamal, he used to be an artist named Joe Good.
Come
Joe.
on.
But man, and it really like around the 7th grade, like 6th, 7th grade, like man, when we would just get music and just go home and listen to music and then go to sleep. Get up, go to school, listen to music, go home, go to sleep. Like we did that forever. Like for years, we would study lyrics and study artists. And when I got into high school, they got to talking about, man, you East Coast dude, you East Coast that. I'm like, man, I don't even know what that means. You know what I'm saying? So I started studying regions and stuff and really doing a deep dive into these artists that we used to just listen to day in and day out. So that's how I fell in love with it. And then my brother actually became an artist, and he started doing music. And I mean, you know what I'm saying? I would freestyle stuff every once in a while, but I wasn't an artist. He really wanted to be an artist. And I'm a technical guy. I love computers. And just all the technical things associated with music. So I ended up getting like a Radio Shack mixer and a little cheap microphone. And we used to get the little maxi singles and stuff because they would leave instrumentals on there. And we would just record over those. You know what I mean? So that's really where the love started. Like we used to just go crazy. Like he started freestyling and I would record the stuff and start mixing the stuff down. So that's, you know, basically he was my guinea pig for all the stuff that I learned to this day.
You've had many guinea pigs, me being one of them.
Yes.
Me being one of them. But that's good, man. The fact that it was a natural progression into what you're doing now. Tell me more about now obviously from those sessions, we'll call them sessions with your brother, and how that expanded. You went to school and sort of honed your craft and learn like technical things and all of that. Tell me about that. How did you find out? Because back then, I didn't really even know that you could go to school and learn
these things.
Some of the things. Like you the first person I met where he was like, oh yeah, no, I'm actually in a class right now where here's the soundboard.
Well, that story is crazy. When I first got to college, I had a mentor who was like a multi-millionaire, this older guy. And when I graduated high school, he gave me a choice. He gave me a choice between a computer and a car. You know what I mean? And just the stuff that was going on in Kansas City, I was like, I want a computer. You know what I'm saying? So I think we spent like $4,000 on a computer.
Wow.
And it's like a fraction of the power that we got in these iPhones and stuff now. But when I got to campus, I had like this Sony computer. People like, how'd you get that? You know what I mean? They were just like, but after I got that computer, then the second computer I had, I built it. So, cause this was in that Brad. I had this Sony computer. And then when I moved over to Salvator, that's when I built the second computer. You know what I mean? And didn't have a lot of money. My sister, Kika, rest in peace. She used to always help me out. She got her income taxes one year. And she was like, yo, what do you need? You need to tell me whatever you need before I spend all this money. And I'm like, I need a microphone. She like, how much is it? I'm like, that mother like $600. She like, you better come get it. So shout out to my boy E Rhymes. I don't know if you remember E Rhymes.
I remember all that, man.
So E Rhymes, I was like, bro, I'll pay you $50 to like take me to Kansas City right now. So we just got in the car and slid like and then went to Guitar Center or whatever.
Guitar Center.
Or Mars. It was a place
Music.
called Mars. Mars ain't
Music.
open no more. Rest in peace to Mars.
Rest
too.
in peace of Mars.
But
Radio Shack too.
Yeah, Radio Shack, yep. So no, I got a mic. I upgrade the mic, upgrade the sound.
Yeah.
And I built a booth in my dorm because it was 3 closets. So I opened the first door and the third door, and it created like this little void in the middle closet. So I built these panels and just kind of hung them over the door and put the mic inside the closet and turned it into a booth. But man, we used to freestyle every Friday before we went out and stuff. It was just many memories. But once all the fraternities and sororities found out about me, they would come in. I would edit all their shows, kind of synchronize steps and things like that. And we used to just sweep step shows. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But that's where I really got good at editing because it was like I was doing this daily. Yeah, I was either recording somebody or we was doing step shows, ABC, the music. I always had some music related going on daily. Yeah, even in addition to my studies. Yeah,
that room is infamous, man. It was a sanctuary for me at times. I remember times where you would be going off to class like, hey man, you want to stay in here and knock out some tracks? Go ahead and do it, man. I'll be in there for hours while you gone.
I didn't even realize that.
Be going to class, or I think one of the fraternities that you did a step show for actually put together a track for one of their shows that they used. Yeah. So it was a lot of honing skills, but that space that you created was my, I did a lot of my work back home in St. Louis. So when I was away at school, it was just like, how do I still make sure that I'm doing it? There was a lot of hours in that room, man. So yeah. But no, so obviously from there, you went on, once you graduated from college, you got home to Kansas City. Kansas City is where we at right now. Yeah. And actually the Chiefs they about to play in a little bit. Yeah, that's good. But you got home to Kansas City, and then the journey begins, right? To say, all right, let me plant my flag here in my city. The goal is to have the studio. Was the goal to have your own studio? Was the goal to just record people? What was the goal?
So that's another interesting story. So in college, we had this. My degree is in computer information systems, so we had programming courses that we had to take, and it was this class called Advanced Java. And the dude was just smart, like just a super smart dude. Yeah. And he was like the final boss. Like people had jobs lined up. He like, nah, you got an F. You got to come back. You can't even start your life type. Yeah. And he didn't care. You know what I'm saying? He like, I'm tenured. You guys can't get me fired. Like, and so it was bad, dog. And so
college, man.
Everybody, we went to graduation, but I still had a couple classes left with this dude. So he did a satellite in Lee Summit. Okay. So we used to go up there. Yeah. And me and my boy Rodney, shout out to Holly Rod. Yeah. We was both in that class. And so in the meantime, I took this job at this place called Caremark. So I was doing it was like healthcare stuff. So you would log in and people need prescriptions filled and all this stuff, and you set up all their benefits and things like that. So but me being a computer guy, I already know the system. Like once they taught it to me, I'm like more advanced than the average person would because I went to school for it. So the manager, he was like this middle-aged white guy. And, you know, whatever his life he had going on in his life, when I came in there, he was like, we really didn't get along. Yeah. And then I passed the class and got my degree. Okay. Everybody was happy about it. So it was like a Friday, I went in, and dude sat down at my desk and had a meltdown like, man, I got kids and all this stuff and all that. And I'm sitting there like,
what's going on?
Because I'm young, so I don't know. I'm like, man, I don't know. This dude just had a meltdown at my desk, bro. And I'm like, so I go home about 5:30, 6 o'clock. I get a phone call from Caremark, and they like, yeah, we gonna let you go. We called it the tap. When they tap you on the shoulder, like, yeah, get your stuff.
Yeah.
But they waited till after I completed a full day of work.
Yeah.
And they tapped me on the shoulder.
the worst.
They called, yeah. So that Friday I get a call. I got fired for no reason, dog.
Yeah.
So I sat down with my mom, bro. They like, what you want to do?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So made a conscious decision. It was like very intentional.
Mhm.
Like, all right, cool. I'm gonna just be recording. I'm gonna be recording.
Yeah.
Cause I'd already been recording at school. I had a brief stint at Commerce Bank doing computer stuff.
Yeah.
But I would go home and just record. Like,
Yeah.
it's just always been a thing that's been in the background. And then the noise just got louder. It just got bigger than whatever else I was doing. So.
Yeah. No, now that you say that, it's just bringing back so many memories. I forgot about the studio at the crib before this even became.
You came and stayed at the crib a couple times.
And recorded there. I think we recorded something with Joe.
Yeah.
With Joe Good. So crazy, man. Crazy. But okay, so this is good because this is one of those things where you have a passion, you have a love for something. You weren't really necessarily putting everything into it at the time. You know, maybe still.
I was 1 foot in, one
foot out, and then you had a set of circumstances that's like, all right, look, this is the direction I'm about to push into.
Yep.
And we've had a lot of people on the non-conversations where actually our very first guest, season 1, was someone who the pandemic hit, lost a job. They were tinkering with like doing people's nails and stuff like that, and then just turned it into a whole
business.
And then now later they own this Black-owned salon. You know, and shout out to Treese. But yeah, so like we love to hear stories like that, man. So what was the journey like since then, right? To get to here, right? Because how do you go from what are we gonna do to Emmy Award winning, Billboard, recording, all of that? What's the process?
So shout out to Tommy Live. You know what I'm saying? My village tough. Bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Tommy has been a good friend of the family. During the hip hop culture, they had this thing called Flavor Pack.
Okay.
So it was like these underground hip hop stuff. Like they would rent out these buildings, whatever venue was available.
Yeah.
Man, they brought the Fugees. They brought De La Soul.
Yeah.
They brought the Roots. They brought like countless people who were just, you know what I'm saying? Like De La Soul in 95, like, you know, we didn't know they were on their way up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Roots, some group out of Philadelphia that's just on the circuit. They like, yeah, let's bring them down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So shout out to Flavor Pack, shout out to Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy hit me up because he produced and do music, and he would come to the house.
Yeah.
And he like, yo, I found this building on 17th and Summit, which is where we are now.
Yeah.
And this was like the beginning of 2003.
Yeah.
Or it was 2002, I think.
Okay.
Okay. 2003.
Yeah.
It was 2003. So he found this building, and it's 3 buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yo, it's only X amount of dollars a month.
Mm-hmm.
You can come up with that, then the rest is just whatever you make. So we came up here and took a look at the space. There was nothing in here. It was just dude like, I'm not fixing nothing. He's like, if the it's old Italian guy. He's passed since then, but he's like, yo, I fixed the roof, and if something's leaking, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if the plumbing's leaking or the roof or whatever.
That's it.
So Tommy's a carpenter by trade, so he came in and built the first iteration of 64111 Studio in this building.
Okay.
And he had the building over right here, the one on the other side.
Okay.
So
yeah.
And then we rented that out. We found a tenant and had another person over there. So we were just kind of in here just thugging it out, you know what I mean? And shoot, I began to make a living off of it. I'm like, man, I could really like, and once people started catching on, I was like, wow, I could really make a living. So I started like paying bills and paying taxes and just a slow progression of a grassroots type deal. Yeah. And then the music, you know what I mean? Once the music started coming out and people see the product, then it just garnered more and more business. So so it just progressed from there.
Yeah, yeah. What would you say the most difficult part of that little period of time, right? Because you mentioned, right? All right, we were able to find this building, we had tenants, we were doing this. What would you say was the most difficult part of that period of time?
Oh well, let me say this: getting it out the mud is not a badge of honor. It's not a badge of honor. I don't ever want my kids to quote unquote get it out the mud, and people running around here beating their chest talking about I got it out the mud.
Yeah.
Don't nobody really want to get it out the mud.
Right,
It's
right.
like if you have a dream and a vision, man, you want a team of people that can help you achieve that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and you can stay focused on what you're trying to do instead of having all these other things. So
Right.
I had to get a job. Shout out to my boy Rico. Shout out to Rico.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a name.
Oh man, Rico, he's doing great right now, by the way.
I can imagine.
But he got me a job.
Okay.
So even though I was recording and I quit my job, got my degree, all of this, he was like, yo, Pfizer, it's a Pfizer out in Lee Summit. So we were literally inspecting flea medication, like these tubes.
Yeah.
And you had to put in this press to make sure there were no leaks.
Yeah.
And they had thousands, really millions of tubes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would just sit there and you had this glass enclosure. You had to wear smocks.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. It was a lot. It was like a laboratory. So,
yeah.
So that's how I financed the money to pay Tommy. We needed material. We needed sheetrock. We needed various things. And Tommy had found like this carpentry work when people renovate a building or something. He like, yo, I got a bunch of soundproof cubicle panels. Okay. And so we build the sheetrock and then just build a shell on top of it. Inside of it. Because we couldn't afford we couldn't afford soundproofing. Yeah. So he like, these cubicles are full of soundproofing. So we just put them all together and just attach them to the, you know what I'm saying? Attach them to the wall. So, business it'll be slow sometimes. You know, you sitting there, I'm eating ramen noodles, trying to figure out like when the next person gonna call. Yeah. We didn't have the internet like we do. I had to go get physical flyers pressed up. So that means I got to go to the club. So I'm at a show. I'm at every show. I got business cards. I'm like, yo, I got a studio. Yeah. So we at the club. Yeah. We had other people's shows. If it's any promoters, I'm networking with them. So, that networking component was key. Yeah. To like getting people, expanding my business. But that was some of the struggles, like marketing, promotion, trying to finance that stuff, not being able to just get a bank loan or not having anybody in your family that could just say, here.
Just toss it to you.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
yeah. No, that's good. That's good. I think the idea, I love that you made the comment about the getting it out the mud, because it typically is a badge of honor for those who were forced into the mud and then have to work their way out. Not like, I want to be planted.
That's me
in the mud.
I was forced in it.
And exactly. And so that's what I'm saying. I think a lot of people speak about it like I don't want it any other way. I want to be planted in the mud. I'm like, nah, you really don't want that.
No. That's just how it happened. That was just how it happened.
Exactly. So after that, so obviously, all right, so word of mouth is happening because you're recording people. People are telling other artists. You're out doing hand-to-hand, investing in yourself, which is important, especially when you're trying to do anything, getting out here. And people need to see you, how serious you take it, to take you serious in what you're doing. So pressing up the flyers and handbills and cards and all of that, getting out here. So you finally, at some point, get some traction where you have some regular artists coming in. People are starting to speak about you. Your sound is getting out, the quality of work that you're doing. Now you're at a point right now where you pretty much have clientele. Yeah. Right. It becomes clientele once it's something that's regular. And now people are seeking after you. What does it feel like to go from looking for people to come in the studio to having to turn people away
Yeah.
At times because
Yeah.
you just don't have the time that they want to have with you.
Well, so I have a set schedule and I have to find, it's like a work-life balance. I got, wife, kids, and family stuff started coming into play once you get so, old enough.
Yeah.
And then it's just hard to find people with this skill set. So it's like, if I could find another person or this or that, and I tried a few different people and it just didn't work out. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to continue to do my work. You know what I mean? So, once business started picking up, I ended up developing a website, and so that allowed people to just go book time, because a lot of my time was spent corresponding with people. Like, you got this time? Well, nah, what about this time? Nah, I ain't got this. And then sometimes people will book hours. I didn't have a deposit back then. And they're like, yeah, let me get 10 hours, bro. Just let me get Thursday. I want the whole day. Don't show up. Like, yeah, man, something came up. I'll catch you next time. Like, nah, actually you won't. Yeah. You know what I mean? But
that's real.
But
actually you won't.
Actually you won't. But it just took years of just remaining a student. That's one of my mottos. Always remain a student.
That's good.
You know what I mean? I still learn stuff now. I learned some things this year that I wish I could go back and remix every song that I've ever done. Yeah. Because of the stuff that I learned this year. Yeah. And part of that is the technological advancements with the computer stuff too. You know what I'm saying? It's like a twofold thing. So yeah, all the work that I did up to this point, it just kind of spread and spread and spread. Yeah. And then shout out to all the artists in Kansas City, because as they progressed as well, we all progressed together. Yeah. They began to get bigger opportunities and things like that. Yeah. And then they would bring those opportunities back and incorporate me into what they have going on. That's so good. Like, shout out to my guy Lavelle. I got a couple plaques with him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We're currently number 20 on Billboard right now for a single he has out called Right Here. Yeah. But he signed to SRC Universal. Okay. He's an R&B artist. Good. And done a ton of work with him. Yeah. And then once they hear his stuff, then I get other people calling. They just keep. And so now it's a point where, I do need another engineer. And I'm just trying to find somebody with that specific skill set. Yeah. And so we can do some work. Yeah. Yeah. And if I'm sure it feels good to have your work and your footprint, so to speak, your audio footprint speak for you in rooms that you're not even in, right? People can press play and you're there. Yeah. All across the world at this point, right? And so how does that feel, man? Did you imagine when you were recording your brother on the Radio Shack mic and the mixer that at some point musically, not even that it would be a sound engineer, but musically in some kind of way you would be making an impact? Or was it just it was just a love of music? No, it was, I dream big. Okay. Good. So, the vision that I had is like the moment just hadn't caught up where I was mentally. Yeah. I still have some of that, you know what I mean? Like the things that I want to do and the vision that I have for the city, and I'm just waiting on those moments to catch up. Yeah. So it's like a lot of stuff I want to do with the kids now. When I won the Emmy, and the Emmy got me in the door to where I could actually be a professor. That's good. And they let me develop my own curriculum. And it's like, you know what? Wow. I'm gonna step into these moments. Yeah. And do what I've always done. Yeah. So I'm not overwhelmed. Right. Or, keep it's like the things that I've done to get me to this point. Yeah. Is the reason why I'll just, you know what I'm saying? Just keep my composure. If I get a call, might get a call from a label, got a hot profile artist that I'm doing music with. They call me because of what I do. Right. So I just need to do that. I don't deviate from that. Just stay your course. Yeah. And so yeah, it feels amazing when you get those type of calls.
Yeah.
You just got to keep a level head and don't like lose yourself in those moments.
Yeah.
But I've always like, I dream big. So when those moments happen, I'm like, this is what you prayed for, man.
Yeah.
This is what you prayed for. So
Yeah.
don't get overwhelmed by this moment. Let's step into it and get this work done.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that. This is what you pray for, right? I know that you are a strong believer in God, and you have a tremendous amount of faith. I know we've had conversations a long time ago about things like that. How much does that and has that played a part in this journey, this experience now that you are being able to live out?
Well, actually, so I just spearheaded like $130,000 sound renovation at my church.
Okay.
And I had to go to the pastor and talk to him about the worship experience and things like that and how important it was to the congregation. And he so we set it up in one of the phases, and it just got completed earlier this year. But I was at a certain level in my career. So I would have some ups and downs.
Yeah.
And then I joined the music ministry at the church and really started dedicating some time to God to, okay, the talent that you gave me, I'm gonna give back. You know what I mean? So I'm there every Sunday. I'm running the boards and trying to get the best sound, trying to get a good worship experience for the congregation so they can hear the word. So once I did that, man, it was like an overflow of business, an overflow of opportunities, that people calling me. Like, things have just been really, these last 2-3 years have been crazy, dude. Like, business wise, it's been amazing. But it was at the moment that I decided to give back to God and use my talents for that. That's what the sky's the limit now.
It's important, man. A lot of times, and this is life, right? A lot of times we do things, we pushing so hard, and we forget to keep the main thing a lot of times. And
I forget all the time.
And we push hard, and there's nothing wrong with pushing. There's nothing wrong with pushing, but a lot of times it could be as simple as, let me refocus and let me center. Like, who gave me the ability to do all of this, and make sure that I'm not getting so into
your own agenda,
my own agenda, or like let me not be so wrapped up in the gift that I'm forgetting about who gave the giver, right? Because the giver is way more important than the gift, right? And so I think that's what you're saying right now, is that you started to be intentional about making sure that you yourself let him know that, you know, you are first. And then you said the door started to open up a lot more than what they already were. That's good. That's good, man. What would you say? Because you say you're with the kids now. I love that you're back at the university, and you are now giving back to a space that you kind of were there to hone skills and learn life lessons, all the things that, you know.
So we'll be here
we
for
learned
hours.
in college. But what is it that you say to them, or would say to any student or young person that is, I hate to say the next Jazz or the next anything, but they have similar aspirations that you had, and maybe have similar roadblocks or even worse? What do you say to them?
My main thing is always remain a student. I know I mentioned that previously, but I'm telling you, man, that is the thing. You know what I'm saying? I have another motto. It's called slow grind, legit hustle. You know what I mean? Okay. So it's like, everything gonna come fast, man. I've been in business for 22 years. And I'm having the time of my life musically. 22 years. I just made a post on online, like, man, I still get up hype. You know what I mean? Like, man, I can't believe this, bro.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
That's
so good. But yeah, always remain a student, man. Never let your ego get too big to where you can't learn something, because there's always something to learn. And so I keep it real simple. Like, I keep my ego in check. I'm humble. I mean, I flex every once in a while, but
Yeah.
it's more. Anytime I do something like that, it's more inspirational than anything. It's like, you can win an Emmy. Yeah, you can get these plaques, man. Get out here and do some work, though.
Yeah.
Don't just think that you're entitled just because you do music or you have a good, your music is good, and now you're just entitled. You just think, no, you got to get out here and put some work in.
Yeah.
So
Again, it's always good to be in this space, man. I remember the first iteration of the studio on the other side. Yeah, man. But I've seen it from the college dorm to the crib, to the other version of this building, and now that I'm here, every time I come back, as always, I was just here about 7 years ago, and now that I'm here again, I feel like there's always, and that's one thing that I want to say to people is that, you know, you could tell a good tree by the fruit that it bears, right? And so if you're constantly seeing growth, if you're constantly seeing things that are changing, whether it be gradual or whether it be rapid, so I'm definitely proud of you, bro. Doing all the things that you're doing, and not just necessarily industry wide, but like I really love the fact that you're back at the school, putting it all back into other people, and then that you mentioning like at the church, doing it in that way, man. And so leave us with some words, people that are seeking an opportunity to either work with you or to learn from you. How do they get in touch with you? All of that.
Okay. So I have a website. It's 64111studio.com.
Yeah.
You just click book now and how many hours you want, and the schedule will pop up.
Yeah.
And that's how you get in touch with me. As far as as far as working with me, so just come in and be prepared, man. Be prepared. A lot of artists come in and they're in boot camp. I call it boot camp when they first work with me, because I have a process, and you kind of get the production for free. So it's like a lot of people don't understand the difference between like a beat producer and an actual record producer.
Yeah.
So I consider myself a recording engineer / record producer. So that's a value add for the artists that I work with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So but 64111studio.com. Don't be afraid to put your music out. I know a lot of artists are vulnerable. Your art is a vulnerable thing. Let me rephrase that. So when your art's a vulnerable thing, a lot of people are kind of hesitant to put it out there because they're afraid of how the people will receive that. And it's like your goal as an artist is to find the people to resonate with you. You know what I mean? So make that a goal. If you're doing music, go out there and find your fans, man, and be fearless when you put your music out. You know what I mean? Like, I know it can be vulnerable and it can be a scary thing, but if you're an artist that does true music from you, go on out there and just find your fans.
Put it out there.
Yeah.
Y'all heard it here first. 6411 Studios in Kansas City. Come in if you out. And if you in already, make sure, if you haven't checked in with 64111 Studios, I should say, then make sure you're checking in, man. This has been another episode of the Non-Conversations. Again, what we say now over never, because now or never gives you too many options. This is Jaz Brewer, sound engineer extraordinaire, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.
I have a method when I work with celebrities, man. I treat them like regular people. Most of the time, if you fan out or quote unquote act like a groupie or whatever, or you like a super fan or something, they automatically compartmentalize you and put you over in a box. So it's like, you may be sitting here on the inside like, oh snap, I can't believe it, I whoopty whoop, you know, I'm working with something. But on the outside, you just got to keep it cool, dog. That's how you garner their respect. So I always just treat them like regular people, and they have more respect for you, and they remember you because you didn't go crazy when you seen them or talk about a concert you were at. So yeah.
Pink. Red.
So